he's never going to leave Kentucky. The fan base would not be unhappy with him. He wouldn't feel the day-to-day pressure that he has. He would not think to himself, I'm not living up to expectations. He wouldn't be looking for a way out. So that just tells you that he knows he did not win enough.
Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard are here to make you a friend of ours.
That would mean you were made guy.
Investigating what is and isn't legit.
That's a Fugazi. All right? That's a Fugazi. I looked at it for 2 seconds.
Seeing through the lines to make you a better.
I know you know. And I know you know I know you know.
The FTM Army is being sent for.
In our thing, you get sent for, you go in alive, you come out dead. And it's your best friend that does it.
These two wise guys would never steer you wrong.
Forget about it.
This is Real or Fugazi on Follow the Money.
Paulie, on paper, South Carolina versus Iowa leading into tonight with UConn taking on Purdue is as good as it gets. Is that real or is that Fugazi?
A little Fugazi. Little bit. Because I didn't think Iowa had much of a chance yesterday. Because South Carolina was so good.
Oh, the storyline, though, Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
They also were a 13-point dog to them last year, and they beat them outright.
Yeah. Yeah. But this could get out of hand tonight, though, too. It should be close. It's Ken Palm number 1 against number 2. But this is, are you going to win 12 games in a row in the tournament by 13 plus? I mean, I wouldn't fall off my chair if they're up 14 at halftime.
The fact that this never happens, though, on the men's side.
I know.
Like, the best team overall usually doesn't win it anyway.
Yep.
But to have the 2 best or 2 out of the 3 best teams actually make it to the title game, that's rare.
Rare, yep. 2021 was awesome, but guess what? Stinker. Baylor blew them out.
I know.
Baylor
From
and
the
Gonzaga.
get-go.
That was one of the few times where it was 1 and 2, and the gap was so large, but it played out that way, that they still got there. And Gonzaga was undefeated, and Baylor only lost twice. 2016, 2008, 2005. But 2008 was a great game. Memphis should have won, missed their free throws. That was Calipari. But hopefully it lives up to the hype like Villanova and North Carolina. But I don't know if Purdue can hang in this one.
Dan Hurley has a chance to be the Nick Saban of college basketball. Real or Fugazi?
100% real. And he can do it at UConn or if he takes the Kentucky job.
Agreed.
Now, one thing here is, as I mentioned, you got this gift where you don't have to pay the $30 million buyout. If Calipari gets $8 million a year, this guy's got to be getting 10 then. So if you're Kentucky and say you want $9-10 million a year, he's got to get more than Calipari. He'd be back-to-back champs, or at least wins the title and gets to the championship game. He's got to get 10, and if that happens, you're doubling his salary at least. If you're going to say you make 4 or 5 now, how about 10? You make 4 at UConn, and certainly he's going to get a raise no matter what happens. But how about $9-10 million a year? He's got to take that and entertain that. Mm-hmm. And maybe there's a point where UConn can't compete with that. And Kentucky, just because, it's like Lon Kruger. We told that story last week on April Fools years ago. He told Oklahoma no 3 times. And every time they came back with more money. Till he finally had to say, I have to do what's best for my family. I don't want to leave Las Vegas, but I have to take the job.
Hurley has to listen.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Especially
must
if they
listen.
say here's $10 million a year.
Yep. Tonight's result is bigger than just Purdue. This one is for the entire Big Ten. Is that real or Fugazi?
100% real. That's right. You haven't done it since 2000. That's another storyline here. Now, the one storyline is exercising the demons and full marks to Purdue and Painter. They have the Virginia Part 2 story here, and you're in play. But it's right. It's been since 2000. They've lost, 7 in a row. So it's happened to Izzo. It happened to Indiana. It happened to Ohio State. It happened to Michigan a couple times.
Yeah.
Can the Big Ten get one here? That's big. I know. That is a part of the storyline here. Can the Big Ten finally get one? It's a long time.
So Matt Painter can wipe away all of his past misery by winning tonight. Real or Fugazi?
No, Fugazi.
I think people will say he already did.
No, that's unfair. You still have that stink. I mean, you got the big guy down low. Which how do you lose to Fairleigh Dickinson? How do you lose to North Texas and Arkansas Little Rock? I can't get past that. But
even if he wins tonight, you can't.
Well, how does he follow it up? What happens
Does
next?
It matter?
I think it does.
What do you think of Tony Bennett today?
Good coach, would win at any program. Why do you play that style at a big-time program, though? I hate the style.
What do you think of John Calipari?
Great recruiter, salesman, not a coach.
Yeah. Would you consider John Calipari a winner?
Yeah, he's a winner. I mean, what he did at UMass and Memphis, and
yeah.
But it's also, at some point, you could just say, even if you're a below-average coach, you're going to run into wins and success with all the talent you have. We've run it down plenty of times. I mean, look at the NBA players that he had. And he's still, Davis, Booker.
Oh, I did.
I mean, it's SGA.
You can do 2 hours on it.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Put it this way.
But you're going, he had eight NBA guys, according to all the experts, and he couldn't beat Oakland.
Right. I mean, John Calipari is not leaving Kentucky for Arkansas if he was more of a winner. Like, if they made deep runs almost every year at Kentucky, and maybe he had 2 or 3 titles, which he easily could, right? And they were in the Final Four every other year, or a number 1 seed, and like without the flops, he's never going to leave Kentucky. The fan base would not be unhappy with him. He wouldn't feel the day-to-day pressure that he has. He would not think to himself, I'm not living up to expectations. He wouldn't be looking for a way out. So that just tells you that he knows he did not win enough, because he clearly was, again, anybody could figure that part of it out.
Well, it's hard to do. We've run down everyone's resume, but I would like to see more than a couple of championships when you've been in this racket for 30 years and you get all the top talent. You are looking forward, you are more excited for Jinx 2 than Heat 2, real or Fugazi. Jinx 2 in 2 weeks.
Probably real, because Heat's now been 30 years.
I know.
So, I mean, it's a
prequel and a sequel, though.
So had that movie been made 10 years after the original, I'd probably say Heat 2. But the Jinx, again, for people who don't know, it was on HBO, 2016-ish? One of the best television shows ever made. It was like 6-7 episodes. That was it. And now they're going to come out with part 2. And I didn't see the preview last night because I haven't watched Curb yet.
It was right after Curb.
Okay.
Yep.
But this is like the hype to this.
It's a hell of a trailer. It was a hell of a trailer.
Was it?
Yes. It was well done. But I said it, I think I said it Friday on the show or Thursday. Underrated movie. I watched it yesterday. Heat's a top 15 movie all time. It's the only time, I mean, you got Pacino and De Niro in the same scene. And
the acting. The cast is incredible, and the acting does not disappoint.
So Michael Mann goes to Val Kilmer. He goes, I have any chance here? Can I get you in the picture? He goes, I don't know. I got this deal for $7 million. He goes, yeah, I got Pacino and De Niro, though. He goes, what? Okay, I'll do it for $400,000. He goes, are you serious? And Michael Mann says, how do I repay you? And Val Kilmer says, put me on the movie poster in between them. And he did.
Was that right?
How good is that story?
That's the story.
The guy walked away from a $7 million payday to make $400,000 because he wanted to work with Pacino and De Niro.
Wow.
And be part of Heat. And you were right about that cast. I mean, that cast is... Ted Levine's in it.
Oh, yeah.
Buffalo Bill. Good role in it. Even the guys with the big roles. Waingro. Yeah. The guy who drives the getaway car at the end.
Sure.
He's Bleep You, Joe Boo. He's in the...
that's right.
All those ads, State Farm or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the home run, I can't wait for both of them. It's going to be great.
No offense to Zach Edey, but Glenn Robinson is still the best Purdue basketball player in history. Is that real or Fugazi? I'd like to have a conversation with Purdue fans about that. I'd probably get mocked because Edey's going to win the Wooden Award for back-to-back years. But, man, I'll tell you, Glenn Robinson, when I was growing up,
it's a shame what happened in the NBA.
I know.
But that was a guy who got the $100 million payday, and that was it. Speaking of Lon Kruger.
He still had his moments, though, where he was brilliant in the NBA.
But Lon Kruger coached him, I think, for a year, and he was just like, need you, dog. Need you to go out there. And sometimes it's just like, nah, not tonight. Not happening. He had to talk him into playing a lot, but once you get that kind of money, it changes you.
That was back when rookies would make $100 million coming right out of college.
Right.
So it's like, okay, where's my motivation now?
Yeah.
Oh, but he was something else.
Well, sure, you didn't have the benefit of, Edey's a great player, but he has the benefit. Well, look at how they're talking about him, though. I mean, there was one scout who says the guy's going to be Boban. He's going to be a bad pro.
That's unfair.
There are other people saying he's going to go like 25th in the draft.
Okay, so, I don't know. Maybe he's a bad pro. But to compare him to Boban, I mean, you need to watch more film then. Because Boban's a total stiff who can give you some flashes. Edey is not a complete stiff. That's unfair to that guy.
Yeah. He doesn't get the benefit of the whistle, though.
Oh, yeah, that he does. And I'm wondering, is that going to be the same thing tonight?
Yeah, right.
I mean, that whole matchup down low with Klingon. By the way, I'm looking at Klingon plus 190 to win most outstanding player.
Yeah, good point by Luke. Like, Dawn Staley was the last gal to do it, to win most outstanding on a losing team. I mean, it's just...